Hello, popcorn junkies. I run the risk of getting into trouble with our dear friend and social media manager, Michelle, who has said, "You're having a mental health day, Mark. Stop it." But I can't resist. Our friend Ninad in Berlin has said, "Oh, come on. Haven't you seen the trailer for Nobody 2? And we loved Nobody, the first film. Well, we love it. Yeah, we liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot to like about it. Nobody 2, this is the sequel starring Bob Odenkirk, who you'll know from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I mean, I liked him in Breaking Bad. I never really got down with Better Call Saul. It didn't, I don't know. I like him. I always feel he's holding back. I always feel like there's some aspect to Bob Odenkirk, the actor, who's kind of like not quite present. But anyway, so what was Nobody 1? Nobody was a film about, well, he stars as a kind of nobody. He's a guy who worked, a former government assassin, worked in kind of Secret Service, was leading a suburban lifestyle, take the bins out every day, and then suddenly he had to re-access and re-enter all of his kind of former assassin espionage training in order to basically correct a wrong, sort out a crime. I think someone in his family was beaten up and he takes revenge. So there was a great big dollop in Nobody of that. Do you remember that Michael Douglas film from years ago called Falling Down? The kind of ordinary man who's just pushed to the edge and so starts shooting people. I mean, it's a fine line between that and then sort of suggesting it's an argument for, you know, mass shooters and people who just kind of have been, just modern life has just got a bit too much. So I tell you what, let's just go and kill a load of people. Not right, guys, not suggested. But this is kind of part within the fact that he's trained and he's gone into hiding and his identity has been concealed. So the first film kind of operated very much on the premise that his family didn't even know that he necessarily had this past. And now we have Nobody 2, which is a sequel. In which case, I presume everyone in his family knows that he's got this hidden past, and how we're going to re-access it again. If I think back, just off the top of my head, to the original film, notable scenes included a wonderful, incredibly visceral, physical, bone-crunchingly squeamish and winceable fight on a, I think it was a bus. It wasn't a tram, was it? It was on a bus. Some brilliantly inventive use of kind of, you know, transport props and poles and handrails and things like that to dispense with people. So I'm guessing that this Nobody 2 will indulge in some similar stuff. It stars, as I say, Bob Odenkirk. It also stars Connie Nielsen. You'll know her from things like Gladiator, but also rather sort of nice sort of, you know, indulgences. Christopher Lloyd's in there. Doc from Back to the Future. He's in there playing Bob Odenkirk's dad, who's also a former FBI agent. I think that's right. I seem to remember the villain in the first film was particularly nasty and sort of slimy and oily and nasty and kind of creepy and just really sort of, you know, spit and it's just nasty. So there was a real satisfaction to that. I'm looking at the cast list. Sharon Stone's in this. I wonder if Sharon Stone could in fact be the villain of the piece. So Nobody 2. Is it going to be as good as the first? I mean, the thing I think is notable about these two films is kind of very low budget, driven very much by Bob Odenkirk himself and his own production company. So whilst I think it might be Universal Pictures that have picked them up, you know, a kind of an indie project sort of generated a sort of sleeper cult hit. The first film was generated by the sheer kind of push and panache of Bob Odenkirk. So I wonder if he can repeat the magic a second time. Without further ado, let's check it out.
I've come to terms with the fact that you don't have an average job.
You guys having fun at the convention?
But we haven't seen you in months.
What happened to your eye?
Somebody found me at the game.
What game?
The one you missed.
And summer break's just a few days away.
We should do something. Strictly family time.
Come on, kids. It could be an adventure.
Let's do this!
I am just so happy to be all together.
Hey, city boy.
Hey!
Get out of here! Let's go right now!
I understand protecting your sister, but there are other ways to handle things. I left my phone.
What? No!
You lie like you're way better.
I think I stumbled into something.
You're vacationing in an old bootlegging route, full of drugs, crooked cops, and one woman who controls it all. You didn't take your family there, did you?
Yeah.
You want to de-escalate the situation.
De-escalate. No escalating. Guys, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm here on vacation.
Find this nobody. Scorched earth.
I just want a break.
There's no way you were just some family man.
We all have different sides. But most of all, you're a dad. Go fix this shit.
I told you.
On fucking vacation!
Wow. Have they left any of the film out? We've all had a vacation like that. We've all been stressed on vacation. I mean, vacations are a time when you're supposed to kind of chill out, have fun, kick back, relax. But because it's so precious, that time is so rare, that anything that impinges upon it or gets in the way of it, then you have to punch them repeatedly in the face. Yeah, I like it. It's got all the falling down stuff. I mean, I have to say, right at the end there, I love the kind of photos, the holiday photos. Very Hangover, wasn't it? With old Christopher Lloyd sitting there with his beer and his tummy hanging out. Great fight scenes. I mean, this is John Wick. I think the guy who's produced it or written it has written for John Wick. It's got a real John Wick feel to it, inventiveness. Little details in there that I'm looking forward to. Sharon Stone dancing whilst all around her there's violence and stuff going on. I quite like that. Sharon Stone will relishing her sort of villainous role. We've got a nice set piece. I hope they haven't sort of like shown us all the set pieces. I mean, you know, they're trying to obviously recreate the sense of the bus scene, which was a really long, prolonged kind of fight scene in the first one. The fairground fight, some really inventive stuff there, smashing his head into the pinball machine, you know, in the sort of hall of mirrors, who's shooting at who, where the laser's going to go and all that kind of stuff. It looks slick. It looks fun. He looks comedic. It's got its tongue firmly in its cheek. There's a guy who gets an anchor in the side of his head. I hope they use the pun wanker. Anchor. I mean, literally, anchor on the side of his head and gets tugged over the edge. And there's always something very funny about someone being punched in the face with a giant squidgy duck that goes squeak, squeak every time. So lots of funnies, lots of gags, not to be taken seriously, but given some real kind of style and heft, like the original film. You know, proper B-movie stuff with a strong sense of humour and just very silly, very economic. Doesn't shy away from just playing the narrative of he's a dad who wants to gain revenge. You know, when the guy flicks his daughter's cap as she walks away, he just wants to get his own back, as any of us red-blooded dads do. Don't fuck with our kids, otherwise we'll fuck with you.